We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, would interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
All right. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is March 15th. We are halfway through the month already, dude. Times fly when you're having fun. So, just got off work. Work was chill. Work was cool. Oh, dude, I gotta tell you this shit. So, our location, apparently it's 100 years that we've been in Nicholasville, Kentucky, Kroger. So, listen to this shit. And this is with employee discount, but because of the 100th year anniversary, I got a loaf of bread, half gallon of milk, 6-pack of Ale 8, which is like a local ginger ale, a link of kielbasa. 1, 2. I feel like there was one more thing that I got. Anyways, got that all for $5. It was 90 cents each. There was one more thing, but I can't remember what the last thing was. Doesn't matter. Got a shit ton of fucking... Oh, a sack of potatoes, man. Like a 10-pound sack of potatoes for 90 cents. All that for $5. So I made out like a fucking bandit. But yeah, work was good, man. Work was nice. I loved it. It was chill. I'm glad to be getting paid more, and it's more chill of a job. I loved my old job before I left. It was just a couple of things that needed fixed, and now that they're fixed, like, I don't mind working there again, you know? But I've been slowly filling up. Sammy, I got her. Oh, by the way, Lily's the co-host today. I don't know why. She's just chilling next to me today. You can barely see her because she's black, but anyways, I got Sammy in the Easter basket, and I've been slowly filling it up. Like, each shift, I buy like one item, and I'll come home, put it in the basket, you know? And I ain't gonna lie, I used to write for the newspaper. I used to write for the Garrett Echo, and then I wrote for the Garrett County newspaper. I wrote for Danville a couple of times. But, anytime, like, Garrett County wouldn't take an article that I wrote, because I was freelance, I would go over to Danville and give it to them. So I love written paper. I love written word. For one, it's nice because of historical reasons, and it's not online, so you can't change this. Once it's printed, it's there forever until this burns and disintegrates. But you see what I'm saying? You can't change written word unless you're CERN, you know, and then you can just change whatever the fuck you want. But I seen this because I always check the front page and see if it's worth buying. Usually on slower days I'll do it. I'll take a card up to the front, and then I go by the newspaper stand and I go, what's going on in the news? So I knew that Trump came by. This is kind of local news today. Trump came by Kentucky. And my wife was telling me about it, and I am not too happy with Trump. I voted for him the stolen election when Biden took reins. And even then, I should not have voted for him because I was still a Q-tard, but I was slowly getting out of it. I was starting to question his stuff like the Operation Warp Speed, his connections with Rudy Giuliani, who was connected to 9/11. Yeah, I shouldn't have even voted for him then. But I was still going through my QAnon phase. I was at least giving Q a chance, you know. And by the way, I'm still like I'm not a Q-tard anymore. I've denounced that shit. But I do have to say some of the shit that they were saying was kind of real, like Joe Biden not being Joe Biden and shit. Like I still don't think that's Joe Biden. Anyways, this pissed me off, dude. So he came to Kentucky and apparently he did a rally. And it says Trump implores Kentuckians to vote Massie out at rally. Massie, I've been talking nothing but good about Massie here lately because him and Marjorie Taylor Greene are like the only two politicians that I know of. Besides that Mace. We mentioned her, I think, 2 episodes ago. We mentioned her. I had never heard of her. Her last name's Mace. Like 3 politicians out of all the fucking swamp are like pushing for the release of the full Epstein files, you know, all that shit. Massie was frontline though. He was like the main dude. I had never even heard of him until all this Epstein file shit. And I like what he's doing, you know. But anyways, this I bought this. It was like $3. It's the Sunday issue, I believe. That's why it's $3 because it's got the comics in it. But it pissed me off when I seen that he came and did a rally, specifically a rally to get Massie out of office. And because Massie's from Kentucky. And first of all, it just hit close to home because this is local news. And second off, it pissed me the fuck off because I'm not cool with Orange Man. I don't have TDS because I told you I voted for him the stolen election. And I actually was a supporter during his first term. But he is just fucking up, dude. He is destroyed. If you are like still on the QAnon shit and you're still on the Trump train, like you are literally retarded at this point. I don't know what to tell you. Like you're literally retarded. But I want to just read this article and do some commentary on it. I haven't read this yet. I come in with virgin eyes because I like to have a natural reaction. I save it for you all. So, Trump implores Kentuckians to vote Massie out at rally. President Donald Trump wants Northern Kentucky voters to know that incumbent 4th Congressional District Representative Thomas Massie has got to go. While Trump's stop in Hebron, that's another thing too, man. Like, this tells you how much that we are under Israel's wing, and Zionism. Have you all ever noticed that, like, all the cities in, like, the U.S., like, not all, but a majority of the cities in the U.S. are named, like, Salem or Bethlehem or Hebron? That's a fucking Jew name. Sorry, I don't give a fuck anymore. People can call me a Nazi, whatever. I just notice things that every conspiracy has like a Jewish connection, and almost every city in the US is named after like something Jewish. Like, sorry, I just noticed things. Forgive me, you know. And by the way, I have to give this disclaimer. I'm not talking about the actual Hebrews. I'm talking about the Khazarian Mafia. I'm talking about the Ashkenazi. I'm talking about the Canaanites, the Baal worshippers, the Molech worshippers, you know. The stuff you see in the files. So while Trump's stop in Hebron Wednesday was intended to focus on his message on affordability heading into this year's midterm elections, president's speech often veered into the political bashing Massie. And Massie's my boy. I'm sorry, until I see something sketchy, that's my boy. You know, a fellow Republican. So this is what's going on right now, dude. The Republican Party, this is why I don't choose teams. When people ask me, are you a Republican or a Democrat? I say neither, I'm purple. And they go, ooh, I like that. I said, yeah, I'm the purple party. And they're like, what party is that? Is that third party? I said, it's a party I created in my head. I'm blue and red. And I'm neither. I'm purple. You know? I think that both sides have some good points. And I think that both sides have some horrible points. I'm not a team player, like, when it comes to following parties. Like, I just never been into the whole party thing. Like, yeah, I'm a lone wolf. I'm mature and adult enough that I am my own man and the god of my own universe, as you should be the god or goddess of your own. You know, because we're all fragments of the creator of all. Hugh. So, the Republican Party is tearing itself apart, though. They are all eating each other alive. And I love watching it because I grew up during, like, the Bush administration after 9/11. So I love watching the fall of the Republican Party. But I also love watching the fall of the Democrat Party, you know? I love watching both parties fall. I've been telling people for years, stop the two-party system, let's vote third party. And then, like, this, you get this glazed look over their eyes, and they're like, so anyways, Democrats, donkey, blue, or red, elephant, you know. It's like, it just, shoom, right over their head. Third party, what? What? That's a wasted vote. Not if we all get on the same fucking train. The president called Massie, who has held his post representing most of northern Kentucky for more than a decade, a loser. Rand Paul Jr., which I love the Pauls. Rand Paul Jr., they're Kentucky boys too. And a total, I ain't gonna lie, dude. Kentucky makes me proud with the politicians we're putting out there. The Paul family, Ron Paul and Rand Paul and Massie, we're doing pretty good. We might be a bunch of cousin fucking hillbillies over here, but we're doing pretty fucking good. You know what I mean? As far as putting out, like, decent fucking politicians. Rand Paul Jr., and a total disaster as a congressman, and frankly, a human being. So, wow, he's bashing on Rand Paul Jr., too. Yeah, he's an idiot. He's going to destroy his base. That's insane. Trump was joined on stage by Ed Galrain, a military veteran and a farmer from Shelby County, who lost a narrow state Senate GOP primary in 2024. The president backed Galrain's challenge against Massie before Galrain even officially entered the race. Yeah, I'm glad I'm registered to vote because I am so voting for Massie and not this stupid Ed Galrain. Fuck this guy. He's the worst person. His name is Thomas Massie. How did he ever end up here? Trump asked the crowd gathered in a facility owned by Verst Logistics near the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky airport in Boone County. He is so pissed that Massie pushed for the Epstein files to be released. This should tell you something, man. If, like I said, if you're still a Q-tard and a Trump-tard, you're fucking retarded. The remarks came as no surprise to Massie, who said before the rally he expected it. Look, I was in his prayers at the National Prayer Breakfast, so I expect I'll be in his speech at this logistics facility, Massie told the Herald Leader Tuesday. Massie has been a frequent critic of many decisions by the Trump administration, including most of its major foreign policy decisions, as well as handling of the files related to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. At least the Herald Leader's putting out something good as far as, like, real fucking news. That's what this is about, dude. Trump is pissed that Massie pushed for the file release because Trump's in the goddamn files, dude. They're all fucking pedophiles, bro. They're all fucking pedos. I wish that these people would get this shit. I'm sorry you voted for the guy. I voted for him too. I fell for it too. I voted for him in the stolen election. We voted for pedophiles. Get over it. Now we can learn from our mistakes. You know? The congressman joined forces with Democratic Republican Ro Khanna to California, successfully pushing legislation that forced the release of much of the investigative files related to Epstein. So Ro Khanna, Representative Ro Khanna of California, we're going to keep an eye on that person because apparently they joined forces with Massie. So, like I said, there's very few, man, like Matt Gaetz, the Paul family. I like RFK. Massie. So Ro Khanna from California pushed for the release of the Epstein files too. So we need to keep an eye on that person. Trump called Galrain an incredible candidate and a real hero for his military service. I would love to see what's in Galrain's hard drives. FBI, obviously they're not going to do their job, but you're going against the person who is trying to release the Epstein files. This Galrain guy, I guarantee you he's got some sketchy fucking history. I'm going to look into that shit, especially because I'm a local. I can find that shit out easy. Everybody knows everybody in Kentucky, dude. He didn't want to run for office, Trump said to Galrain, who ran for state legislative office in 2024. So 2A, let's go to page 2A and see what more shit is going on with this rally. I wish I could have gone. I think I had to work, and by the time I found out, it was probably too fucking late. Jake Paul was there. Wow, Jake Paul was here in Kentucky. Look at that. Supporting Donald Trump. That's fucking nuts. Look at this shit, man. Fucking Jake Paul in Kentucky. Right up the road. Trump recalled to the crowd that he asked for somebody with a warm body to beat Massie. That's not much. That is not a good thing to say. Like, usually that means I just want anyone, like a zombie. Like, that's not a good thing to say, Trump. But I got somebody with a warm body, but a big, beautiful brain. Okay, hang on. Let me practice my... But I got somebody with a warm body, but a big, beautiful brain, and he's a great patriot, Trump said. Having previously run in a seat was only partially in the 4th Congressional District, Galrain's name ID began the race relatively low. Good! I hope it stays low, too, man. Fuck this guy. He's relied largely on television ads to catch up with Massie. Who the fuck watches TV anymore? I'm sorry. Look, man, I live with my mother-in-law and I love her to death. She watches antenna TV. That's all she watches all day is antenna TV. The only motherfuckers who are watching TV is old people. Good luck getting them out to vote, man. Well, they'll just do mail-in ballots and then it'll just get stolen, and, stolen election. Don't think that Republicans don't do it too. Do you not remember when George Bush Jr. ran against Al Gore? Al Gore won fair and square. The Bushes stole that election. Republicans steal elections too. This is not a party system, and this is not a fucking red versus blue. Two wings of the same bird. Once you guys start getting that, it'll all make sense. They all sit there and drink champagne and eat lobster behind closed doors, but out on the stage, it's pro wrestling, It's debates and I hate you, blah blah blah. Everyone's like, everyone loved the whole. Would Trump say he was going to lock up Hillary Clinton? Lock her up. Lock her up. Dude, first of all, they're related. I think she's like a cousin, like a distant cousin from him. They're all related. Second off, he was at their wedding. They're longtime friends. Trump is a lifelong Democrat. The only reason he became Republican was because he was running against Clinton, and he knew the only way he could beat Clinton was to go as a Republican. He's a Democrat. He's a rhino. He's a Republican in name only, dude. Anyways, Jesus Christ, man. Having previously... Oh, yeah, so he's using television commercials. This dude is so out of touch. That's another thing, too. When can we get young politicians? I mean, seriously, when can we get young fucking politicians? Why is it all these old, decrepit zombies who are so out of touch, making laws for young people, but their mindset is still 1950? They're out of touch. We need young, hip politicians. It's stupid, man. I understand that you got to be older to gain wisdom, but I don't know, man. Some of the dumbest people I've met is old people. I ain't gonna lie. And I know it's disrespectful. It's not respecting my elders, but some of the dumbest motherfuckers I've met are old people. They are set in their ways and they haven't learned shit. They've been on this planet for 80 or 90 years and haven't learned a goddamn thing. And I'm like, dude, I'm 36 years old and I've got more wisdom than you. What the fuck is wrong with this goddamn picture, you know? Sorry. The president offered a direct response to a recent ad from Massie's campaign highlighting the fact that Galrain left the GOP in 2016, rejoining later in 2021. Ed became an independent a few years ago. Well, okay. I don't like this guy, but at least he's an independent. He's neither Republican nor Democrat. So he's not as dumb as I thought. I don't like him that he's going after Massie. I'm not going to vote for the guy, but at least he's smart enough to like say, fuck the two-party system, I'm independent. But that honestly gives me a hope in a way that Massie will stay in and this guy won't win because nobody votes for third party, like I just said earlier. So, Ed became an independent a few years ago because he was so angry at the way the Republican Party was operating, and I don't disagree with him. Other people did too. But then Ed came back. Okay, so he's a Republican again. Good. He's a retard. Awesome. And he came back strong because I got involved, and he came back stronger than he ever was. And now he's all the way, Trump said. Trump compared Massie to a fellow Kentucky lawmaker, Senator Rand Paul, whom he criticized for voting against everything. Dude, I swear to God, man, he's going against the Paul family now, too. He's gonna fuck up. He is ruining his fucking base, man. We call him Rand Paul Jr. He votes against everything. At least I like Rand a little better, Trump said. I could give him the best things in history of a Republican voter, and he'd vote no. There's something wrong. It's probably because there's some weird shit in those bills. Massie was opposed to Trump's marquee budget bill on the grounds that it is projected to add to the already increasing national debt. Don't worry about it, Trump. You printed all that money during COVID, man. Do y'all remember that? He printed all that money during COVID, and everyone blamed Biden. The reason everything's so expensive, the inflation, is because of Biden. No. If you actually do your fucking research, it's because during COVID, Trump printed more money than any president ever. Ever. Do the math. Learn some economics, some basic economics. I'm a fucking retard, and I know at least a little bit of basic economics that you can't sit here and print trillions and billions of dollars. Trump printed the most money ever, more than any other president. That is why everything is so expensive. And you know who got the blame? Joe Biden. I don't even like Joe Biden. But because during COVID, Trump printed all this money, money is useless. We are heading towards Weimar Germany, man. Trump knocked Massie because he didn't support the items that he believed to be beneficial, like a tax cut on overtime pay. Massie voted against tax cut for seniors, he voted against tax cuts for overtime workers, and he voted against tax cuts for tip earners. Trump said, Trump offered several different derogatory designations for Massie throughout the speech. Massie's a complete and total disaster as a congressman. And frankly, as a human being, Trump said. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting I gotta do the voice whenever I do Trump. I'm practicing my acting skills. He hammered home throughout the speech. Those in attendance should vote for Galrain over Massie. Get rid of this loser. This guy is bad. He's disloyal to the Republican Party. Fuck the Republican Party. He's disloyal to people of Kentucky. And most importantly, he is disloyal to the United States of America. Really, dude? You're gonna, nonchalantly, passive-aggressively say that he's committing treason? Come on, bro. That's passive-aggressive as fuck. Galrain took the stage for a brief speech touting Trump's endorsement. I want to thank you for your endorsement because once you did that, my support skyrocketed. Of course it did, because there's a shit ton of Q-tards and Trump-tards, Galrain said. I look forward to serving the people as their representative of Kentucky District 4 because, as you folks know, you deserve an authentic, true Republican conservative that stands shoulder to shoulder with our president and Republican Party and against the Democrats because, God knows, divide and conquer, who are trying to destroy our nation. So are the Republicans. Galrain then led the crowd in a chant, USA, 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 before ending on a reference to The View. Oh my God. We're talking about The View? Seriously? What? Oh, this is pro wrestling, dude. An ABC daytime talk show hosted by women, often lampooned by conservatives. I hope the fake news gets this. Thomas Massie stands for the ladies of The View. This is childish. This is so fucking childish. It is above me. It is above me. It is above me. This is crazy. This is crazy. I hope the fake news gets this. Thomas Massie stands with the ladies of The View. Mr. President, we stand with you, Galrain says. Wow, they are just digging into that white trash conservative, just fucking pulling at their heartstrings, man. This is crazy. Trump also gave brief shout-outs to all three leading candidates for GOP nomination to U.S. Senate to replace Senator Mitch McConnell. Hey, I actually agree with that one. Andy Barr, replace Mitch McConnell and Andy Barr. I'm actually cool with that. Former Attorney General Daniel Cameron, I have no clue. And Lexington Tech entrepreneur Nate Morris, I have no clue who that is. So the rest of Trump's speech. The start of Trump's speech was focused more on the economy, current affairs of the state of Kentucky. Trump touched briefly on the conflict in Iran. Yeah, you probably should. It looks like we're heading towards World War III, homie. Where the U.S. has killed several Iranian leaders and targeted military installations in conjunction with longtime ally Israel. Sorry. I don't give a fuck anymore. Fuck the Jews. He framed the U.S. action there as a success. And by the way, I mean the fake ones, not the real ones. Not the Hebrews. Can we bring back the H word and not the J word? Can we do that? They don't know what the hell hit him, right? Trump said. The Air Force is gone, totally gone. That took a better... So this is all just warmongering shit. The rest of it just sounds like warmongering. I'm going to wrap it up there, though. Trump's fucking visit to Kentucky, man. Turning against Thomas Massie, turning against the Paul family. Like, dude, how dumb are you? The Paul family is like royalty here in Kentucky. You know why? Because they're awesome fucking soldiers, man. For the United States. For the Constitution. They're amazing. They're like one of the very few pure politician dynasties. I don't know. Love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. I have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up in the link below if you want to donate. I can buy more papers. I'll send you a sticker. Yeah, that's about it. Y'all have a good day.